Hello and welcome to episode number 7 of the Great Controversy series. My name is Erick Magwaro. Today we are answering the question, why is Satan still alive? And so, from our previous messages, we have seen how the angels in heaven and all unfallen beings from other worlds who are also referred to as the sons of God have been witnessing the development of Lucifer's proposed charges against the government of God. Now, first, they watched his expulsion from heaven in the heavenly courts, and then later here on earth as his evil principles were more fully developed. And so on the cross, when they watched the murder of Christ, the sinless Son of God, they could clearly see the outward manifestation of the evil character that God had seen from the very beginning in the heart of the covering cherub. And so we read this statement. Satan saw that his disgust was torn away. His administration was laid open before the unfallen angels and before the heavenly universe. He had revealed himself as a murderer. By shedding the blood of the Son of God, he had uprooted himself from the sympathies of the heavenly beings. Henceforth, his work was restricted. The last links of sympathy between Satan and the heavenly world was broken. So for them, they are not listening anymore. Now, I'm kind of interested because if God's only objective in the great controversy was the revealing of Satan's character and destroying him based on that evidence, Satan will have been destroyed immediately after the cross. My question is, why 2,000 years later are we still in the great controversy? Why is Satan still alive? And so that is the question we are answering today. Now the answer, friends, is a very profound one. God's plan is not called the plan of destruction. It is called the plan of redemption. That means for it to be accomplished, it must do more than simply destroying sin and Satan. God has something bigger in his mind than simply destroying Satan. And so God wants to bring some, if not all, of those who've been Satan's former loyal subjects back into heaven. Now, the very next paragraph reads this. Yet, Satan was not then destroyed. That is after the cross. The angels did not even then understand all that was involved in the great controversy. The principles at stake were to be more fully revealed. And that's our answer right there. And for the sake of man, Satan's existence must be continued. Man, as well as angels, must see the contrast between the Prince of Light and the Prince of Darkness. He must choose whom he will serve. That is why God did not destroy Satan even after the cross. Now let's dig deeper, because like I said before, the Bible has answers for everything. We can even find this answer in the Bible. Ezekiel 28 and verse 17 says, "Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty, because thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness." Now, God says, "I will cast thee to the ground," speaking about Lucifer. "I will lay thee before kings, that they may behold you." My question is, who are these kings? The Bible has answers for that too. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 5 to 6 says, "And from Jesus Christ, who is the faithful witness, and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth, and to him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood." Now listen to verse 6. "And has made us kings and priests." So who are those kings? That's right, you and me are those kings. He says, "I will lay thee before kings, that they may behold you." That is why Satan has not been destroyed even today. Now let's dig deeper into this. Matthew 13 and verse 24 to 30 says, "Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way. But when the blood was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, did not thou sow good seed in the field? From whence then has it tares?" Now I want you to listen to what is happening here. The angels have come to Jesus in heaven, and they are asking him, "You told us that you made the world so perfect. But when we can look at the world, we can see sin and wickedness. We want to know where it came from." Now, you can tell there is a question behind the question they are asking because of the answer that Christ gives. He says, "An enemy has done this." That is to say, it wasn't me. I didn't have anything to do with it. An enemy has done this. So the angels are like, okay, we understand that point. Now, do you want us now to go into the world and destroy all sin and sinners? Jesus is like, no. Why will he say no? He says, "Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up the wheat with them also." Now listen, it is for the best interest of the wheat that the tares should continue staying in the field. It is for the best interest of you and me that Satan should continue existing. Now, listen to this. Even when Satan was cast out of heaven, infinite wisdom did not destroy him. Since only the service of love can be acceptable to God, the allegiance of his creatures must rest upon a conviction of his justice and benevolence. The inhabitants of heaven and of the worlds, being unprepared to comprehend the nature of the consequences of sin, could not then have seen the justice of God in the destruction of Satan. Had he been immediately blotted out of existence, some would have served God out of fear rather than from love. So the influence of the deceiver will not have been fully destroyed, nor will be the spirit of rebellion have been utterly eradicated. For the good of the universe through ceaseless ages, that's our answer right there, he must more fully develop his principles, that his charges against the divine government and against the divine government might be seen in their true light by all created beings, including you and me, and that the justice and mercy of God and the immutability of his law must be forever placed beyond all question. That is why Satan today is still alive. Now, I have a question for you today. What is it that has the most powerful influence over your mind? Is it an accusation or is it a demonstration? So to you, is God as Satan accuses him to be, or as Jesus demonstrates him to be? Because Satan has accused God of being selfish. Jesus has demonstrated God of being love. My question is, which one is it that is blowing your mind? Which one is it that has the most powerful influence over your mind? Is it an accusation or a demonstration? And so I'm asking you today to choose this day. And by the way, there's so much power about the choice that God has given us. It is so powerful that if you choose to be saved, no devil can stop you. But at the same time, if you choose to be lost, God himself, however powerful, cannot do anything to prevent you from making that choice. And so today, God has put two options for us. He says, I've put before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life so that you and your descendants may live. Thank you so much for watching this episode. In my next episode, I'm answering the question, can Satan read our minds? Thank you, and blessings be upon you.